2014, I started my position as the Director of Instruction at Maine campus. This was my first time being the administrator of the building. I was nervous, feeling much the same way many of our graduates probably feel right now. This was a new and an unknown step for me on my journey. Was I prepared? Would I like it? Would I be a good fit? Would I be successful? The sweetest surprise of that year was the group of students I encountered. In particular, this group of amazing graduates who in August 2014 were beginning their culminating year at Maine campus, the leaders of the pack. They are not afraid to draw outside the lines and even off the page. This group has changed a lot in the last 5 years, both as individuals and as a cohesive whole. Through all the changes, this group has kept their spirit of ingenuity. The 13-year-old innovators involved in starting Dragon TV, making the first middle school yearbook, and starting the first National Junior Honor Society are now young adults who over the last 5 years have evolved through their experiences and trials. Today, as you are reflecting on the past and anxiously awaiting the future, I leave you. Your teachers have shared some words of wisdom that you may take with you. You will find a bookmark with your memory book in the library. Mr. D'Alterio.
Students, parents, QSI faculty, and honored guests, we come together to celebrate one of the greatest rites of passage, graduating from secondary school. This is a day we proudly celebrate many accomplishments. This is also an important day for parents. I am sure you remember your child's first day of school roughly 13 years ago. Many of our students who are graduating today have been at QSI for much of their school life. This is unusual in international education for students to stay in one school for so long. Of the 58 students who will graduate today, 20 of them, more than a third of the class, have been with QSI for over 8 years. I would like to ask these students to stand and be recognized. Graduating students have been with QSI since preschool. Would they please remain standing to be recognized? When I was growing up, I worked a lot with my father, who was a contractor. It was very rewarding to stand back at the end of the job and see what was accomplished. In education, we don't often have the opportunity to see our completed work. The closest we have is today, at graduation. Of course, the students are not really a completed project. It is just the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. Our commencement speaker, Liam Fitzpatrick, will help send our students out into the world with some words of wisdom for the next stage of their lives. Liam Fitzpatrick was born in Hong Kong, of Irish and Chinese parentage, and educated at Christ Church, Oxford, graduating with a first in modern history. He has variously worked as a kitchen porter, dance party promoter, theater director, music producer, poet, and journalist. His poetry has been anthologized in City Voices, Hong Kong Writing in English, 1945 to the present, and in 2 other collections. He held his first solo photography exhibit in 2011. Liam was appointed a senior editor of Time magazine in 2006, and in 2018 became Time magazine editor, Asia Bureau, directing the news organization's coverage of this region. Please help me to welcome Mr. Fitzpatrick to the podium.
The first ever tutorial I had at university was with a wonderful old school Don called Charles Stewart. He was the sort of guy who wore bow ties and served sherry during the tutorials, and apparently he was also a recruiter for the British Secret Service. Not that he ever tried to recruit me. Anyway, I came before him as a wide-eyed, totally nervous freshman thinking, wow, I'm finally here at uni. This is going to be amazing. This is the dream. And he looked at me and he said, Mr. Fitzpatrick, it shall be your aim and my aim to get you through this course by doing the least amount of work possible. And as long as you understand that, and don't try and be too clever, everything will be fine. So, I'm going to channel the spirit of the late, great Charles Stewart today, as I say to the graduating students here, that it shall be our mutual goal to get you through this graduation speech as quickly as is decently possible. Because you really don't want to be sitting in here listening to some adult type person any longer than is necessary. You want to be out there partying and deservedly celebrating the fantastic achievement of finishing the long school journey that you've all been on since kindergarten. And for me, well, I actually hate public speaking. And I turn down almost every request I get to do it, but I always take the chance to speak to young people, because speaking to young people is special. I get the chance to say something that hopefully will mold your impressionable young minds. Okay, so given that neither you nor I want this to take too long, what I need to do is say something that's going to make the most impact in the shortest time. I need to draw on my 53 years of planetary experience and share something that's really going to help you and be of benefit to you and actually make a difference in this brief time that I've got with you all. And I've got a feeling that that thing is not going to be another Gandhi quote, or another Martin Luther King quote, or a Stephen Hawking quote, or a Malala quote, or a quote from that dreadfully sanctimonious Greta Thunberg. It's not going to be some sad, sobbing monologue about how you should treasure these days because these are the best days of your life. They're not, trust me. Life is so much more fun once you turn 21. And neither am I going to make a stirring but at the same time vague motivational speech about reaching for the top and never giving up and all that. Instead, I'm going to boil my advice and all my wisdom and accumulated knowledge and life experience down to 2 words, and they are compound interest. You know what that is, right? It's interest on interest. Like if you save $1,000 a month in an account with a 10% rate of return, starting from today, you'll become a millionaire by 2041. It's not bad, right? Why is this important? Why is money important and being able to manage money important? You see, we're often taught to equate money with greed. And of course, it can be about that. And you know, it's not very cool to talk about money or be interested in money. But actually, being able to make a bit of money and to be able to look after that money and grow that money is really an aspect of self-care. It's directly connected to self-esteem, to confidence, to self-reliance, and to being able to take your place in the world. It's an act of self-nurturing. It's a smarter way of living your life that ultimately buys you all kinds of freedoms and directly benefits the people around you. It helps your family, it helps the people you employ, and it helps their families. It helps the people you buy things off, and the families of those people, and the people they buy things off, and the people they employ. Maybe you even start funding a charity because you have enough money to do that. If you're good with money, you can carry and inspire and benefit a lot of people. And that's a good feeling. Please note that I'm not talking about becoming obsessed with money or with career. I'm simply talking about basic personal financial responsibility and making a commitment to gradually becoming better at it the older you get. Even maybe to the point of self-sufficiency. I've been told that some students here get given $1,000 to invest in the markets and that you get to keep a portion of your profits. That's amazing. You should totally keep that up as you enter the working world. Buy some stocks, some funds, a piece of property, a little gold, some Bitcoin. Saving and investing is everything, actually. Because you're entering a job market in which you can no longer depend on a salary. The way business works is changing. There are loads of jobs now that won't exist in 10 or 20 years' time because of tech or AI. More and more work is shifting to the gig economy and is no longer full-time. That whole thing of depending on an employer for a steady job and steady pay and steady promotions, no, that's all going and gone. You were all born too late for that kind of career. But don't be disheartened by that. Instead, look at that situation and say, good. I can no longer count on working for the same firm for 30 years. Good. That would have been a waste of my life anyway. Can't follow the profession I wanted to follow because technology has obliterated it. Good. That gives me a chance to see what else is out there and what else I can turn my talents to. On these kinds of occasions, I think I'm also supposed to say stuff like, follow your passion. But if following your passion is going to be financially ruinous, then maybe you want to think very hard about whether you want to be doing that. Those cool kids who affected a kind of indifference to getting on in the world and who took out huge student loans to go to college for 4 years and do cinema or gender studies, you know where they end up after 15 years? Sleeping in their parents' basement. You don't have to go to college to study post-structuralism. You can just read about it in books. I know it will probably horrify a lot of people if I say this, but if you're going to study something like that, maybe you should take those 4 years of college fees and invest them in some tracker funds while working as a barista and then save up the deposit for an investment property and rent that out and use that as collateral to buy another investment property, so that by the time you're 30, you'll actually be able to finance your passion. You'll be able to make that film, or record that album, or publish that novel yourself, and you'll actually have something to say. The other problem with telling you to follow your passion at your age is that you probably don't know what your passion is. I mean, you think you do. I get it. But you don't. And you won't know what it is until you've lived a bit of life and walked down the Shanghai Bund on an autumn night, or seen Victoria Harbour at sunrise, or had your heart broken and mended, and broken and mended, or until you've borne witness to suffering and joy, until you've been lost and found again and again. So until you've done all that stuff, keep your powder dry and your options open and your eye on the S&P 500 index. Remember too the words of the great African-American folk poet, Christopher Brian Bridges, who goes by the name Ludacris. If you ain't got no money, take your broke ass home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fitzpatrick. I would now like to introduce the QSI St. Band performing Counting Stars by One Republic. Check, check, check. Check.
Hello, it's me.
12 years ago, I attended a Chinese local school. There was a guy in the school. We were never in the same class, and we were never friends. All we knew about each other was not even our names, but our existence. 4 years later, I came to QSI, and I saw a familiar face. It's been 8 years, and today I'm graduating. But this guy I met 12 years ago happens to stand beside me at my graduation speech.
I know you're very excited, Wayne. Okay, alright. To all the friends, families, teachers, administrators, and dignitaries who came today to celebrate this milestone with us, welcome. I'm Tony Bay.
And I'm Elaine Chen.
I know everyone's excited to graduate, but I'm feeling blue, as today is the last day where all of us will stand together as a class.
But today is also the first day of our new chapter. You never know who you're going to see again as we move on.
And you never know who you're going to be with working with in the future. The class of 2019 was resilient. We survived from AP,
IB,
TOEFL,
SAT,
and of course, Mr. Stolman's class.
Time passes, but some things will never change. For instance, Mr. Wyman's hair.
Or school Wi-Fi.
I meant friendships.
Oh, you meant like our best friend Spark Notes?
We appreciate all the love and support from our peers, teachers, and most importantly, our parents.
Student, we know that you will never forget about success orientations. And I know you might feel that they're useless.
But some people think that I'm lucky with a little more freedoms from teachers. But because everything you do and every choice you make today will come back to you. High school does not define you and your potential, it's the choices you make that guide you.
We now look forward to the future. And some might feel that the future is still far away. Before the class of 2019, it starts today.
Another consideration as we all move forward is helping others. And what I can finally say, in my experience of high school, you can make a huge impact simply by jumping in to help out in your abilities. Because kindness and politeness, guys.
No matter where we go or what we do, I guarantee there will be challenges ahead of us. But I ask the class of 2019 to fight them with all of their strength.
And there are times when we want to give up and enjoy senioritis. However, I would like to give a shout out to our teachers for being the most motivational and inspirational school parents. And some of them just can't, they just have to be so talented that I have some of them for 2 and now 3 years of different subjects. Mr. Nate, I'm looking at you. Thank you, Mr. Wyman, for telling me I can do whatever I want. This same answer you gave me for the past 3 years guided me to what I thought were unachievable.
And to all the literature teachers, we'll never forget the greatness of Shakespeare.
Keep in mind of where you want to be in life and how to get there while helping others.
Because you must give to receive.
Conquer your desire to get your grade.
This future is the greatest challenge of all.
It's been an amazing 4 years, and I couldn't have asked for a better class to graduate with, and any better lower classmen to work and share the campus with.
All right, this might be the time to say goodbye, but it's also time to say hello to our new environment. In fact, let's put this as a temporary farewell, as QSI will always be the homes of dragons. It's also a place where I learn how to swear in 8 languages.
And lastly,
We made it!
congratulations to the class of 2019, Once a Dragon.
Always the dragons. Have a fantastic Friday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, please give another round of applause to our next student speaker, Julie Angela Song.
I am honored to make this speech on our graduation day, especially thanks to my parents who raised me until now and never giving up on me. I also deeply appreciate too many teachers and faculty to make today as meaningful ceremony of the year. I've started my first year in this school and finally made my graduation today. Wow, seems like forever, but today is the day. You might be wondering why I am here for a speech, as some of them may not know me, as I am not the alpha girl or Gatsby girl who made my future life be successful. My name is Kyuli Angela San, and I am just an average or a slightly low on the average girl, but I am one of the graduates of QSI class of 2019. As I am confessing that I am not a supergirl, let me ask you something. After you graduate, what is your destination and how bright is your future? Do you know what you're going to do? What kind of person you're going to be? My answer is, I don't know. As a matter of fact, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. In order to make my graduation, this is the lyric I love, written by Irish band U2, and I have modified it to share. I have climbed highest mountain, I have run through the fields, only to make my graduation, only to make my graduation. I have run, I have crawled, I have scanned every textbook, these all subjects and reports, only to make my graduation. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Yes, I'm scared to death what will happen to me and believe that you have the same feeling too. But the point of this speech is that I'm not going to stop here. I will run, run, and run until I find what I'm looking for and hope you guys do as well, so you can say, this is the thing what I have been looking for. Goodbye, good luck. Hope we can see each other someday. May the force be with you, and I have only 2 more words to say. Angela out. I will introduce the next student speakers, Chloe, Kim, and Hisan Yu. Faculty, distinct guests, families,
Friends, and our fellow graduates of the class of 2019.
greetings. Welcome to secondary. We used to be told by Mrs. Sanders on the first day of secondary when we were very fresh.
And the upperclassmen told us, good luck with your IB, or don't take IB, when we entered our 3rd year of high school.
And now we are graduating.
Hopefully with our IB diploma.
I'm Hisan Yu.
And I'm Chloe Kim.
We, the graduates, have been through so much together. We survived from the super typhoon called Mom called in September.
And I survived from the increasing number of the couples at school.
If you have concerns about your secondary and IB works, don't worry.
As Mr. Sloman taught us, the first time is an accident, second time is a coincidence, third time is a pattern. So, there definitely will be more typhoons hitting Shenzhen next year.
Does that also mean there will be more couples?
I guess. Good luck.
We could conclude that one of the main concerns of secondary students was the fear not to be perfect. There were many of them being afraid to fail and keep denying themselves. But it should be clarified that no one is perfect.
Exactly.
Okay, except you. Aside from the jokes, it is okay not to be perfect.
Perfection is not obtainable, but if you chase perfection, you can catch excellence. So, accept who you are and keep improving yourself.
Once we believe in ourselves, we can risk curiosity, wonder, spontaneous delight, or any experience that reveals the human spirit. Hence, always believe in yourself and take actions to make changes.
If you think you are too small to be effective, maybe you have never been on a bed with a mosquito. So be brave and stand up like us two in this moment.
Lastly, we would like to ask you to remember all of us, the class of 2019.
The best class ever.
Thank you. Now, we would like to introduce the Year in Review video, the graduation video directed by Antonio Yang.
Thank you, Antonio. I would next like to introduce Chris Kim, another student speaker.
Thank you for the amazing video, Phoebe. For the dance. Thank you. Good afternoon, guests, faculty, and the class of 2019. Today I would like to speak about someone a bit casually, someone who I've known for the past 12 years. In elementary school, she evaded me as if I were a red rain day, for I'd make her soak by the time she was able to allay her anger. In middle school, I pestered her so much that she'd even confront my parents to ramble about my mischiefs. In high school, I chased her under the spell of unrequited love, appealing my existence to which she was nearly blind. I'd knock on her doors until they resonated, though it would screech and subside upon reaching the ears that encased the heartstrings. I tried. Twice I tried to stand out, and twice was she attracted to someone else, evading the dissonance. I was still within her sight, though, perhaps as visible as a speck of dust hovering at night. She'd occasionally pat my head, hinting at me that some other time I'd have a better shot. Well, I did not have a better shot. It was only the mind that throbbed from the pat, becoming shredded into pieces. By the time I became aware, it had already turned into glass, reflecting every aspect of her mire-like beauty. The dense, sticky mud would then seep into the fractured mind, barely keeping it intact. This year, kind of like always, I wasn't able to impress her. She'd treat me callously, freezing the fluid expanding beneath the wounds of my mind that shattered into crystals. Yet, love was merely amplified, for every single piece of it was still transparently reflecting the beauty of the queenly figure. The mind would even romanticize gaps from the distortion caused by the smaller cracks within each crystal. I was contorted by the pain of the mind and the heart. My defensive mind now hollers that she did her very best preparing me for the harshest aspects of reality. But hey, I wanted to be her friend, perhaps the best one. You always happened to be there, peeping at me through the shades from somewhere I could not seem to reach. But now I'm departing you forever, and I guess it's time to move on. Her name is QSI, my beloved friend. Thank you for teaching me what it's like to blindly pursue something, the ambition. Farewell, and watch me grow. Thank you. Please welcome the next student speaker, Jo Vivian Choi.
Dear graduating class of 2019, dear teachers, beloved families, and friends, congratulations, we did it. Today we sit here, 18 nations united, about to spread out to the world. Looking at this graduating class, I was thinking, what is it that makes us so special? I mean, obviously we're not only the best looking class, but we're also the most diverse. Actually, this reminds me of our home, Shenzhen. Shenzhen can be regarded as a metaphor for us. Considered as a special economic zone, this city is not only special in terms of internationality, but also because of its rapid expansion. We are the ideal representation of Shenzhen, as we are the symbol of change and growth. We are combining the East and the West. We are forging tradition and modernity. Let this sink in. Only you 57 people will know about this experience we've shared together at QSI. I think it's safe to say that we were all foreign to the city and to the school at one point. Everyone could relate to each other's struggles, which is why it was easy for everyone to feel welcome and included. We are all major pieces to a grand puzzle with individual memories that we've made in the past years. Thank you, QSI, for giving me a family that is not bound by blood, but by memories. To you too, dear Mr. Stoltman. Guess I'm not the only one to thank you, but your strict precision has pushed me to develop character and skills in writing. And for all the good and bad times during these years, thanks to my friends, you know who you are, for standing by my side. But most importantly, I'm eternally grateful for my sister, mom, and dad, for giving me the best and always believing in me. Today we sit here, about to spread out to the world. Dear class of 2019, today we rise. Thank you.
Thank you, students. I would now like to introduce Mrs. Reck for the certification of diplomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests and seniors, in my role as secondary counselor at QSI International School of Shenzhen, I have carefully reviewed the academic records for this year's graduating class. I hereby certify that all students receiving their diplomas today have met or exceeded the requirements set by Quality Schools International for graduation from QSI International School of Shenzhen.
Before we begin the issuing of diplomas, I would like to draw your attention to some distinguished honors at today's ceremony. Magna Cum Laude, meaning with great honor, is a recognition given to students who will earn their academic diploma today and who maintained a 3.9 grade point average throughout their secondary career. We would like the following students to stand and be recognized. Young Jun Tony Bay. Adeline Pei Lin Chin. Hanson Dai. Min Hyun Sally Kang. Do Hyun Max Kim. Si Woo Kim. Jessica Lee. Clarice Leo Yi Yin. Mo Tom Marco Ni. Q Lee Angela Sun. Yeza Ward. Desan Yu. Victoria Jung. We would also like to recognize the distinction of Summa Cum Laude, meaning with highest honor. These students will earn their academic diploma today and maintained a 4.0 GPA during their secondary career. We would like the following students to stand and be recognized. Si Ling Phoebe Huang. Sa Yoon Rose Kong. In Chris Kim. Anmi Lee. Johnny Zhang Yang Wang. You will notice that both distinctions bear a medal today to recognize this great achievement. Mrs. Wilkinson will now come to read the names of the graduates.
Students will rise by rows. Yoon Jun Tony Bay. Vanessa Bailey. Chan Mei Ching Annabelle. Adeline Haylene Chen. Tzu Tong Thomas. Son Hyun Paul Cho. Jenny Ji Hyun Choi. Jo Vivian Choi. Won Jun Tommy Chung. Hanson Dai. Josh Fleming. Paulina Hernandez. Ti Ling Phoebe Huang. Min Kyun Sally Kong. Sa Yun Rose Kong. Changsa-eun Chloe Kim. Do Hyun Max Kim. And Chris Kim. Siwoo Kim. Justin Kivitz. Bernardo Klein. Lawrence Peter Casper Lovins. Com Tong Tommy Lau. Ann Mi Lee. Jessica Lee. Lee Y. Ling. Leo Yi Yen Claris. Taras Leishinka. Richard Lee. Lee Ryan Tien Jia. Otis Alexander Molina Palomino. João Pedro Montero Garcia Davila. Takatoshi Murakami. Patrick N.G. Motong Marco Ni. Yu Okada. Daniel Ong. Jason Byung-ha Park. Sang Young Park. Sonia Piaget. Taven William Remick. Bonnie Wilketnell. Elaine Shen. Jin Young Nelia Shin. Danny Smith. Q Lee Angela Song. Samuel Akira Stace. Go Uezono. Wong Johnny Xingyang. Eric Yunchi Wong. Jasa Ward. C. Lum Rain Wong. Richard Young. Desan Yu. Victoria Zhang. Helen Zhou. I would now like to reintroduce the QSI band.
Check, 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 check.
I don't know what to do. How we were going through, how we were holding on. I breathe. You and me, oh, a lot of mystery. We can be the greatest thing that the world has ever seen. You and me, girl, oh, a lot of mystery. So don't let it go. We can make some more. We can live forever. All of the rumors, all of the lies, we always made a way to make it out of line. Now we were going strong, now we were holding on, breathe. You and me, a whole lot of mystery. We can be the greatest thing that the world has never seen. You and me, girl, a whole lot of mystery. So don't let it go. We can make some more. We can live forever.
Bars, expensive cars, hotel rooms, and new tattoos.
And the good champagne and private place, but they don't need anything. The truth is out and realize that we're nothing here. Life is just a lie. This is not the end. This is not the end. We can make it. You know what you know. You and me. Oh, a lot of mystery. We can be the greatest thing that the world has ever seen. You and me, girl. Oh, a lot of mystery. So don't let it go. We can make some more. We can live forever. Oh, a lot of mystery. We can be the greatest thing that the world has ever seen. You and me, girl. Oh, a lot of mystery. So don't let it go. We can make some more. We can live forever.
Thank you. I would next like to invite up Phoebe Ambrose.
Good afternoon, parents, teachers, staff, students, and fellow graduates. I'm Rose Cohn.
And I'm Phoebe Huang.
People say that high school is a time of growth, whether it be our knowledge or our height. Standing at the edge of our high school journey, we wonder, how much has our knowledge actually grown?
I think it grew just as much as our height.
Today, we'll be sharing a story about overcoming examinophobia.
August 20th, 2015, she took the first step into high school, feeling adrenalized yet anxious. She was frightened by the tales of the brutal competitiveness from the veterans, but the optimism still lingered around. However, reality hit her hard, and soon she realized the wall of naivety was crumbling in front of her. Through the small cracks, she saw a monstrous shadow.
August 18, 2016, she saw the shadow again. This time it was bigger, but soon she forgot as she was carried away by her ignorance. Despite her dim will to enter the academic arena, she was still hiding behind a fragile wall of naivety. She witnessed her surroundings changing as the walls crushed and she was placed in the middle of the arena. Soon she reached a fork in the road. Both ends were the same. It was only the matter of which path to take.
August 17, 2017. She tried to back off, but realized there was no way out. She forced herself to move forward to find the monstrous shadow. On the way, she became knowledgeable, principled, and reflective, while striving to become a thinker, communicator, and a risk-taker. Looking around, 57 other companions, yet contestants, were also searching for the shadow.
August 23, 2018. Along with the ongoing mission of searching for the shadow, college applications began to pile up. The increasing stress caused the contestants to become more vulnerable to the rising contagious disease called senioritis, with symptoms including lack of motivation and laziness. A distant voice called for her.
Young Padawan, don't stay confused. Be mindful and have a good one.
Following the voice, she reached the shadow, and with her acquisition of knowledge, she defeated the shadow on May 23, 2019, overcoming her fear and transforming from innocence to experience.
June 14, 2019, she, along with the 57 companions, walk out of the arena. This is the end of the story, and just like them, each of us are standing at the exit of our high school journey, entering another stage of life, taking a different path, but this time, we are equipped with the experience and knowledge gained from these past 4 years at QSI. Although we won't grow taller anymore, we will grow to become wiser, stronger, and perhaps more capable to fight the shadow within us. Good luck on your next journey, and congratulations, we all made it.
Thank you, Phoebe and Rose. This almost concludes our ceremony. I would like to remind the audience to please stay seated and out of the aisles until after the graduates and staff have left the theater. The reception will be held in the library of the school. Parents and guests, please meet your graduate there. Students, you are dismissed after graduation. Only bus riders may enter the building by the blue stairwell. Thank you, both Mr. Fitzpatrick and Mr. D'Alterio, for attending today. And now I'd like to invite Mr. D'Alterio up to conclude our ceremony.
Graduates, please rise.